Germany's GDP is estimated to be around 4.2 trillion US dollars.
4.2 trillion? I don't even know. I can't even comprehend that type of money. Trillion. 4.2. Damn. Go on, Germany. Well done. What's up, guys? It's Dwayne, back again for another video, back again for another reaction. And today is a great, wonderful, amazing, beautiful, incredible, delicious day. And you know why? I'll tell you why. Because it's a Germany day. How is Germany the richest country in Europe? Dunno. Without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
Making this video, Germany's GDP is estimated to be around 4.2 trillion US dollars.
4.2 trillion? I don't even know. I can't even comprehend that type of money. Trillion. 4.2. Damn. Go on, Germany. Well done.
This amount of money is hard to comprehend. However,
Yeah,
it is still less than the combined market cap of the two most valuable brands on the planet,
yeah?
Apple and Saudi Aramco, whose total market cap is valued at 5 trillion US dollars.
Okay, so I don't know who Saudi Aramco is. I don't know what about. Obviously, I know who Apple is, and Apple is worth 2.6 trillion. That's basically like a small country. Wow, Apple's got a lot of power just for a tech company that makes smartphones. Anyways, I digress. That's a lot of money.
US dollars.
Wow.
An economy size of 4.2 trillion makes Germany the fourth richest country in the world when looking at this metric.
Yeah.
Of course, this does not fourth
And
richest country in the world.
If I look at that as well, do you know what's weird? Like, this is like me rambling, but the two European countries that were involved in the most tumultuous conflict in Europe, the two countries that were at the center of it, are two of the largest economies in Europe, hands down. Germany and the United Kingdom. How did we do that? How did that happen? How can you go through a world war and then bounce back like that? It's crazy. You guys are the largest economy in Europe, which is wild to me. Well done, Germany. Well done.
When looking at this metric. Of course, this does not reflect individual wealth, but the wealth of the value of all finished goods and services made within Germany during a specific period. Only Japan, China, and the USA have a larger economy. Each have a population 1.5,
Yeah, when you
16.6, and 4 times larger respectively. So just how is Germany the richest country in Europe? Well, Germany is an economic powerhouse. It sits in the middle of Europe, is a founding member of the EU, and is the second most populated country on the continent, only behind Russia, which kind of cheats by sitting in 2 continents.
That's true. Is Russia really part of Europe? I think we should kick them out of Europe. I think we just should say, you know what, you're just your own thing. You can be your own continent, be your own thing. You're not part of Europe. But Germany and UK. So Germany's number 1, UK is number 2. Because I don't count Russia in terms of population.
Only the Dutch work fewer hours among the 34 members of the OECD, which contains 38 countries from around the world. That German children spend 25% less time in the classroom than their...
You guys spend 25% less time in school than the Italians. What does that even mean? So you guys spend a lot less. What time does your school start and end? That's really good. That's really good. I think kids spend too much time at school, actually, and I think it's a lot of pressure on the kids. However, if kids spent less time in school, then their parents would have less time at work. And do you know what I mean? But I do think kids, too much pressure... spitting everywhere. Too much pressure gets put on kids in school, especially kids that are younger than like 13. Like the exams in British schools are ridiculous. I don't know what it's like in Germany, but in England, it needs to stop. It needs to calm down. Kids should just have fun at that age. They should just play with toys and learn how to use a tablet. That's it. Because you don't need to, you just don't need to be doing exams until you're an adolescent, really.
their Italian counterparts, and that there are 6 more productive economies in Europe alone, and yet Germany still has the strongest economy in Europe. So first things first, let's take a look at how Germany compares to other European countries in terms of GDP. So the UK sits just below them with 3.1 trillion, next is France at 2.9 trillion, Italy at 2.1 trillion, and then Russia at 1.6 trillion US dollars. However, it must be noted that due to the sanctions for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it is likely that Russia's economy size is actually much lower than this figure. So Germany...
Oh, shots fired! I mean, it's true. I mean, Russia kind of shot themselves in the foot. Their economy obviously is flagging. We'll never know because they're not going to report to us that it is flagging. But their economy absolutely is flagging because of the Ukraine war. They're losing money because they're not really winning the war, but they've spent a lot of money on resources to fund the war. Then there's all these sanctions. Everyone's cutting off all access to Russia. You know, countries are thinking of different ways to use energy and being like, actually, we don't need to purchase any oil from Russia. And that's just going to stifle and choke their economy, which is their fault, really. It's not ours. So I have no sympathy. Don't know about you.
Germany comfortably takes the crown as the richest country by GDP on the continent. In 2016, Germany recorded the highest trade surplus in the world, worth over $300 billion.
Damn.
This economic result made it the biggest capital exporter globally. Germany is one of the largest exporters in the world, with around $2 trillion worth of goods and services exported in 2019.
So we're one of your top export partners. We're friends, you know. We 6.6%. That's quite a bit. Wow.
The automotive industry.
So okay, there we go. Exported goods. I was looking at the countries, but I wasn't looking at what it says above. So 2.4 trillion, 2 trillion assets in 2019. Motor vehicles, machinery, chemicals, computers, electronic products, electrical equipment, electronic equipment. My mouth is not working today. Pharmaceuticals, metals, transport, equipment, food stuffs, textiles, rubber. Basically, you basically supply everything to us that we need in the UK. So, yeah, well done.
Industry gross production value in Germany accounts for roughly 500 billion euros in total sales. In 2019, around 3.5 million vehicles were exported, which was around 20% of all exported cars in the world. The
20% in the world? Wow.
Industry employs around 800,000 people within Germany and accounts for around 10% of the total national GDP. German cars are known around the world for their quality and value. Brands
you guys met
such
some
as
nice
BMW,
cars.
Mercedes, Audi and Porsche are some of the most prestigious brands in the world. With a revenue of $278 billion US dollars in 2019, Volkswagen is Germany's biggest company. It is the 133rd most valuable brand at a market cap of around $105 billion US dollars. However, what blows my mind is that a company of this caliber is still 27 times smaller in terms of market cap than the most valuable company, Apple, at around $2.7 trillion at the time of making this video.
It's wild. Don't you think that's a bit wild? Like cars. You guys make cars, like Volkswagen make cars, and it's so much smaller than Apple. And Apple they make computers and phones. It just shows the economy for like technology, the economy for maybe software and hardware when it comes to technology is just huge. Consumerism when it comes to digital products, not the digital products, but like digital devices is so high, especially mobile phones. It's wild. And now they've got the Apple Vision Pro, which I really want, but it's £3,500, maybe 4,000 euros or whatever. Like expensive.
So Germany's GDP makes them the richest country in Europe, but as mentioned earlier, this does not reflect the wealth of its citizens. Let's look at the USSR as an example. It was an extremely wealthy empire, but the everyday citizens who lived in it were very poor. So instead, let's take a look at GDP per capita, which is a more accurate way of seeing the true wealth of citizens. For this, Germany ranks 17th in the world and actually 12th in Europe. So not bad, but certainly not as good as where their total GDP ranks them. It must be noted, however, that some of the nations that rank above Germany are incredibly small, such as San Marino and Luxembourg, whose populations are 34,000 and
but they're like tax havens, right?
642,000 respectively. So it's not a fair comparison for a country who has 84 million. However, these stats do not lie, and although Germany is a financial powerhouse, its citizens on average aren't so much compared to other countries around them. When it comes to average...
is this Germany that I'm looking at? My God, like when I look at Germany, I know I say this all the time, I'm like, is that home? Is that home? It looks so much like England, like it's unreal to me, like I'm just confused. I look at it, I'm like, am I looking at a city in England? It's like, no, it's not. It's Germany. What? Yeah, you guys, like, honestly, definitely are like sister country for sure.
Average salaries, Germany ranks 11th in the world and 8th in Europe at just under 54,000 US dollars or 50,000 euros.
Better than the UK.
So again, not bad, but not the best. When it comes to enormous wealth, Germany has the 4th highest amount of billionaires in the world at around 134. Only India, China and the US have more. This means that there are around 3 billionaires per 2 million people in Germany. At around 3 million, Germany has the 4th most billionaires in the world, only behind Japan, China and the USA. This means Germany is responsible for over 5% of all
You've got a lot of billionaires, even more than us.
Billionaires in the world. There is absolutely no doubt that Germany has benefited greatly from the euro. By getting into bed with more sluggish economies in southern Europe, Germany adopted a much weaker currency than would otherwise have been the case. As one of the very few countries in the world running a balance of payments surplus, the Deutschmark would have been a great deal stronger than the euro. However, this has provided a terrific boost to German exports, which are cheaper to overseas consumers as a result. But this goes only some way to explaining Germany.
Why did you adopt the euro? I guess you were one of the founding members, obviously UK was one of the founding members, but why did you adopt the euro and not keep your own, currency? As one of the, I think you were still one of the largest economies back then as well. Yeah, only the UK kept our currency. I don't know why.
Germany's current economic might. Just as important are the relative low levels of private debt. While the rest of Europe gorged on cheap credit throughout the 1990s and noughties, German companies and individuals refused to spend beyond their means. In German, borrowing is Schulden, which is the same word for guilt. There is an attitude that if you have to borrow, there is something wrong with you. This has...
Let's not go into finances now, but I'm very risk averse as I've got older. And when it comes to credit cards and loans and all that type of stuff, borrowing in general, I don't like it. I don't like owing my friends money. Never mind owing institutions money. That's just me. So I'd fit right in Germany. I'm just not into that. I'm not into debt. I like to pay outright for my things.
This has been particularly beneficial to Germany in recent years. Unlike its European counterparts, consumers and businesses did not need to slash spending to cut their debt levels when banks stopped lending during the 2008 crash and recession. Germany is pretty much positioned to become astronomically wealthy. Germany is centrally situated in Europe, has access to the sea, and has great river connections. Germany can service markets across Europe from its central location. Germany also has access to both iron and coal. which means it can make steel and generate power without having to import anything. The Germans have a fairly homogeneous culture, barring a lot of immigrants from Turkey in the post-war era. That culture stresses value of hard work, thrift, education, and collective action, a perfect combination for creating successful companies and industries. The Germans came out of World War II with a destroyed infrastructure, but a lot of smart people. With the help of the Marshall Plan, they were able to rebuild the infrastructure, and the smart people worked with great diligence to restore.
I find that so fascinating that you were able to bounce back from the war like that. Like, the way you guys bounced back was pretty spectacular. So, yeah, wow.
Their material wealth. Germany had a pre-war reputation for making high-quality goods, and German companies traded on that reputation in the post-war era, making things like cars, industrial equipment, chemicals, and electronical goods. The German people have had a very stable political system since the war too. When reunification became possible, the West Germans mobilized quickly to make it happen and deployed a lot of money to smooth the transition. There was relatively little objection in German society to the reunification, even though it was quite expensive. So to summarize, Germany is a resource-rich, geographically central country with a large population who have the right values to be successful and with a political system that is very stable. Thank you for watching, and we will see you very soon in the next video.
I mean, that's a rags to riches story if I've ever heard one, Germany. That is a rags to riches story. You guys went from being... Well, you've always been a successful country. You just went through some hard times, and so did we. But you bounced back in a way that is legendary. You know, like now you've got a strong economy. You're in the center of Europe, and a lot of European countries, including our own, look to you guys to have trade deals and export goods and vehicles and cars and all this. Basically you're the center of Europe, and I feel ashamed that I've never been, and I can't wait to actually go this year, and I will be coming this year 1000% to Germany. I'll be coming this year, and I'm going to do a vlog, and I'm going to vlog it, and I'm going to go around Berlin, I'm going to go around Hamburg and different parts of Germany and just enjoy the experience. I can't wait to visit. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you very soon.